All right, welcome everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm Sarah and this is yoga. So this is our third dosha series class. So today we're going to be talking about Kapha Dosha. So I'll do a little bit of reading about what Kapha Dosha is and what type of people are Kappas. So if you took the quiz, maybe you already know you're Kappa, maybe no idea what I'm talking about, you can always take the quiz later. All right, Kappa, which also indicates mucus or phlegm, means what makes things stick together and refers to the power of cohesion. Kappa serves as the bodily container for pitta and vata, or energy and heat. Kapha itself, as water, is held in the medium of earth, the skin and mucus linings, affording it a secondary earth element as well. Kapha is located in the chest, throat, and head in the upper body, the sites of mucus production, but also in the pancreas, sides and stomach in the middle body where fat accumulates, and in lymph and fat tissues generally. Its sense organs are taste and smell, the nose and tongue, and its motor organs are the urinogenital and excretory organs, which relate to the water and earth elements. Kapha endows us with emotion and feeling. This gives love and caring, devotion and faith, which serve to keep us in harmony internally and unite us with others. Kapha allows us to retain what we have achieved through our efforts. So I'm going to read a little bit about what type of people are, or what physical characteristics Kapha people have. Okay. On a physical level, Kapha types are generally shorter than average in height, but can be tall. However, they always have big or bulky build with a tendency to hold weight and water. They have poor circulation and a thick skin that tends to be damp. Their appetite is constant, but their metabolism is low and their elimination tends to be sluggish. They suffer most from dampness and cold. On a psychological level, Kaphas are emotional types with strong and steady feelings. They are calm, content, loyal, and consistent. They can develop deep-seated attachments and find it difficult to let go. Relative to yoga practice, Kaphas prefer devotional approaches, including chanting, prayer, and worship. They will take up asana if convinced it is necessary for health purposes, which it is. Okay, so we're going to begin our practice with some pranayama, breath work. So we're going to do the breath of fire, or kalabatihi. So if you've never done this before, I think I've done it before in my classes. So if you're a regular, you may recognize this one. I don't do it a whole lot because it is one that kind of builds heat. It is also great for kind of working your core because you wind up kind of pumping your stomach in and out. It's kind of a very quick, short exhale. And then the inhale just happens when you relax your stomach. So we'll start by just resting the hands on the lap or on the knees, and go ahead and close your eyes and start to just focus on the breath. So we won't begin quite yet. We want to settle into our breath first. So nice full deep inhales and exhales. So when we begin the breath of fire, we're going to do, we'll do it in sets of 10 breaths. Okay, so you'll do 10 quick breaths, and then we'll kind of take a few slower ones, and then we'll do another round. All right, make sense? All right, so let's take one nice long deep inhale and exhale. One more inhale, and then we'll begin. And then deep inhale, full exhale, one more inhale, and 10 short breaths. Nice deep inhale, full exhale, full inhale, and 10 quick breaths. Full inhale, full exhale, Full inhale. And last set of 10. And then go ahead and breathe normally. So hopefully you felt a little bit of heat building in your midsection. The core works pretty hard when you do this. So it's a nice little core building, strengthening exercise. All right, so we're going to begin our asana practice, and we're going to start standing today. So go ahead and come to your feet. I think I'm going to take off this layer now because I know what I have planned, and I know I'm going to get warm. Okay. So starting in Tadasana or mountain pose, bringing feet hip width apart, parallel, toes spread and relaxed. Let's stand up nice and tall, roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Let's maybe take this moment before we begin our asana practice to set an intention for the practice today, maybe dedicating the efforts of our practice to someone or something. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. Exhaling as we swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. We're going to inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way back up. Exhale into a standing back bend, open the arms, open the heart. And inhale it up. Exhale, forward fold with soft knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come back up. Exhale, standing back bend, open the heart. And inhale it up. Exhale, fold with soft knees. Inhale, reverse, come back up. Exhale, standing back bend, open the heart. And inhale it up. Exhale, fold with soft knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale, standing back bend. Inhale it up. Exhale, let's take the arms behind the back, clasping hands together behind us. Let's inhale, lengthen the spine, look up. Exhale, fold with bent knees, resting the chest on the thighs, letting the arms move away from the back. Let's lift the shoulders up away from the ears. Releasing the hands down, and we'll slowly roll it up to standing. Bringing the head up last, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Take a couple deep breaths here. Let's inhale, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come back up. Exhale, have a seat in Utkatasana, chair pose. Sink those hips back and down and inhale it back up. Exhale, fold with soft knees. Inhale, reverse, come all the way back up. Exhale, have a seat. And inhale it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse, come back up. Exhale, have a seat into your chair once more. Inhale up. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, have a seat. Let's hold this chair. The weight is in the heels, not the toes. Chest is lifted, spine is neutral. Shoulders relaxed. And release, let's inhale it up. Exhale the hands to the heart. We'll go ahead and take a nice big step out to the sides. Setting up for our moonflowers and sunflowers. And willow, we're going to do willow today as well. Inhaling, reaching to the corners. Exhaling, bending the knees, bring the elbows into the sides, and inhale, reach it up and out. Exhaling as we bend. Couple more, inhale. And exhale. Last one. And exhale, transition to your sunflowers. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, bend the knees, circle the arms down and around as we fold, and inhale brings us back up. Exhaling to fold. Couple more, inhale and exhale. Last one. Exhale down, inhale, come back up. Turn the palms to face the front, bending the right knee as we circle both arms down to the right. Come through center, bend the left knee, inhale up the other side. So forward each direction, exhaling down, inhaling up. Take one more to the right. Pausing at the top and then circle around to the left. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Reach for the edges of your space. One more. When we're done, we'll bring the hands to the heart, sink the hips, and come into a prayer squat. The shoulders stack over the hips, knees in line with the toes. Breathing here. And release, let's inhale it up. Stepping the feet together at the top of the mat. Bring the hands to the heart. And take a few deep breaths here. All right, we're going to move through our sun salutations. I'm just going to move my blanket off to the side. I'm not sure why I put it there, but habit, I guess. So we're going to have the chest expansion and the standing back bend because we want to open up the chest. So the kapha, where we're developing mucus and all that stuff, we want to open that part of the body up. So we're going to be doing a lot of chest opening, heart opening work today. All right, starting at the top of the mat, let's inhale, reach it up. Exhaling as we swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees, stepping the right foot back. Stay on the toes or lower the knee, sweeping the arms behind the back and clasping the hands, opening the heart on the inhale. Exhaling as we release, stepping the left foot back, downward dog. Let's stay here in our downward dog for just a few extra breaths because we did not do downward dog earlier. So I want to give you guys time to pedal out your feet. I know George is probably like, no, I don't really want to hang out in downward dog more than I need to. You can always rest in child's pose. You guys know that. Or puppy pose. All right, continuing on, inhale forward into plank. Stay on toes or lower knees, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Right foot steps up by the hands. Helping it get there if it gets stuck. Stay on toes or lower the knee. Bring the arms behind the back, clasping hands. Inhale, open heart. Exhale, release and take the left foot to the front. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale, standing back bend, open heart. And inhale it up. Exhaling as we fold with soft knees. This time the left foot steps back. Stay on the toes or lower the knees. Sweep the arms behind the back, clasping hands. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, release and take the right foot back. Downward dog or child's pose. Inhaling to plank. Stay on toes or lower knees. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or dog. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Left foot steps up by the hands. Stay on toes or drop your right knee. Sweep the arms behind the back, clasping hands. Inhale, open heart. Exhale, release and take the right foot to the front. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale, standing back bend, open heart. Inhale it up. Exhale, the hands to the heart. Once more on each side, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold with soft knees, right foot to the back. Stay on toes or lower the knee. Sweep the arms behind the back, clasping hands. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, release and take your left foot back. Downward dog or child's pose. Inhaling to plank. Stay on toes or lower knees. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or dog. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Right foot steps up by the hands. Stay on toes or drop your left knee, sweep the arms behind the back, inhale, open the heart. Exhale, release into the left foot to the front. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale, standing back bend, open the heart. Inhale, exhale, hands to the heart. Once more on the left, inhale, reach. Exhale, fold with soft knees, left foot steps back. Stay on toes or drop the knees, sweep the arms behind the back, clasping hands, inhale, open the heart. Exhale, release and take the right foot back. Downward dog or child's pose. Inhaling to plank. Stay on toes or lower knees, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or dog. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Left foot steps up on hands. Stay on toes or drop the right knee, sweep the arms behind the back, inhale, open the heart. Exhale, release and take the right foot to the front. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale, hands to the heart. And take a few deep breaths here. Maybe some open mouth exhales. If you want to grab a sip of your water, this would be a good chance to do that. While we slow the breath down. Deep breaths. I'm going to step a little bit further back on my mat just because I have an extra long mat, but you guys can be near the front of your mat because we're going to be doing warrior 3, and if I'm not far enough back this way, I'm going to be hitting the window. All right, let's inhale, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Stepping the right foot to the back. Turning that foot out 45 degrees, dropping the heel, keeping the left knee bent, walking our way up that left leg. For Virabhadrasana, Echo Warrior 1. So if you want to adjust your hips or your pants, feel free. For the hip adjustment, use your right hand, gently guide your right hip forward. Tailbone releases down. And then whatever arms you like for Warrior 1, let me suggest, if you're kind of on the fence, cactus arms, especially for my folks that are Kappas, opening the chest. And then we'll reach the arms back up overhead. Moving into Warrior 3, reaching arms out to the front. Either step your back foot to the front and then lift it off, or just simply lift off into Warrior 3. So arms can stay reaching out to the front. You can bring them out to the side into airplane wings. They can come back by your hips or to the heart, or if you're feeling super wobbly, you can put your hands down on the mat or a block if you have one. Thinking about that right hip, dropping that right hip down so it's level with the left. And then we're going to come back into Warrior 1. Opening it up into Warrior 2, spinning that back foot out, up to 90 degrees. Can be less than that. Arms reach out. Left knee is pointing straight over the left toes. Shoulders relaxed. And then we're going to move from Warrior 2 into Half Moon. So again, you could step the back foot in and then come into Warrior Half Moon, or you can just bring this left hand down to the mat or to a block, and then use a little bit of momentum, give yourself a little push off that right leg, and come into Ardha Chandrasana, Half Moon. You can do this up against the wall if you like. If you're not up against the wall and you're feeling pretty steady today and you'd like to, you can come into a bind, bending the right knee and reaching back for your right foot or ankle with your right hand. And then creating a little bit of tension, little bit of opening through the chest by pressing the foot or ankle into that hand. If you have the bind, go ahead and release it. We're going to step that foot back into warrior two. And then just cartwheel the hands down to frame that foot. Stepping that left foot back into downward dog, child's pose, or to plank for vinyasa. Moving through chaturanga, upward dog or cobra, and then back to downward dog. I'm going to turn myself around, so let me do the other side. I don't have my back to you guys. From downward dog, we'll step the right foot up by the hands, turning the left foot out 45 degrees, dropping the heel, keeping that right knee bent, walking our way up that right leg for warrior one on the other side. So again, we can adjust our hips using the left hand, gently press your left hip forward. And then maybe take those cactus arms again, squeezing the shoulder blades together, open the chest. Really thinking about emphasizing the inhale. Feeling those ribs expand. And then let's extend the arms up overhead and bring them forward, coming into warrior three. So either step the feet together first, and then lift the left leg, or bring your weight onto that right leg and fly into your warrior three. Dropping that left hip down, whatever arm position works for you today. I always like the airplane arms. Makes me feel like I'm flying. Right leg is a little bit soft. And then let's land that foot back into warrior one and open to the side for warrior three. Spin that back foot out. Check the position of your right knee. Shoulders relax down. And we're breathing. Moving into half moon. So we're going to bring the right hand down to the mat or to a block. If you need to move up against the wall, be my guest. And then use just the smallest amount of momentum, lift off, and come into your half moon. Again, the right leg should be a little bit soft. If you're not up against the wall and you want to, you can bind this pose, reaching back for your ankle with your left hand, pressing the foot into the hand. So what this does, changes our center of gravity. Now that foot is coming behind us. So we have to open the chest and bring the chest forward to counteract that. If you are bound, release the bind. Let's step back into warrior two. And then just cartwheel the hands down to frame the foot. Step back to down dog, child's pose, or plank for your vinyasa. All right, let's step that right foot up by the hands. We're going to turn the left foot out, up to 90 degrees. We're going to come up into warrior two, and then just go ahead and straighten out that leg. So we're going to move into triangle. So shifting the hips to the back as you reach for the front, and then drop that right hand down into Utthita Trikonasana. So your right hand can rest on your right leg, You can rest it on a block or take it all the way down to the mat. Chest, hips open to the side. Left arm is reaching up, or we're resting on our side or bringing it behind the back. Very little weight is on this right hand. And then we're going to move into a twisting triangle. So we're going to bring our left hand down to your right leg or to the block or to the mat. I'm going to move this block to the other side of my foot. Now, we want to change the angle of this back foot. So now, if right now it's at about 90 degrees, I want you to bring it up into about 45 degrees. And you can also shorten your stance by bringing it in a little bit closer. All right, so left hand is going to stay down. Right hand comes to the low back. Start to turn the torso to the right. And then, if you like, extend the right arm up out of that right shoulder. Twisting triangle. And then we'll close the pose to come into pyramid. So both hands can rest on the leg, on a block, or on the mat. Draping the upper body over the leg. And then we'll bend the right knee so we can get both hands to the mat, stepping the left foot back, and then lowering that left knee down to the mat, coming into a low lunge. So you might need to bring in some padding for your left knee, making sure the right knee is stacked over the right ankle in the front, the left knee is behind the left hip in the back. We'll walk our way up this right leg, bringing our hands to the low back. We're going to come into a crescent lunge. So it's inhale, lengthen spine, reaching the crown of the head up toward the sky. On the exhale, open the heart, looking up. Might be a very gentle little back bend here, that's fine. If you'd like to go a little bit further with this, you can reach the arms up overhead, extending your lever length, deepening the back bend. And we'll release. Bringing the hands down to frame that right foot, step that foot back to down dog, child's pose, or to plank, or another vinyasa. And again, I'm going to turn myself around. We'll step that left foot up by the hands. Turn the right foot out up to 90 degrees. Come on up, warrior two. Just as a transition, straighten out the left leg, shifting hips to the back as you reach for the front. Drop that left hand down into Utthita Trikonasana triangle. So left hand rests on the leg, on a block or on the mat. Right arm reaches up or rests on the side or comes behind the back. Trying to stack your joints in your arms. So if you think about all your little joints, your fingers, your wrist, your elbow, shoulder, we want all those stacked, one on top of the other. And then right shoulder over left shoulder, over elbow, over wrist. Moving into our twisting triangle. So let's bring the right hand down. And then the right hand is going to take the place of the left. Maybe you need to move that block to the other side of your foot, or maybe I do. And then we got to change the position of this back foot from 90 degrees to 45. And also feel free to shorten your stance a little bit if you want to. Left hand comes to low back. And we start the twist, turning the torso towards that left side. Maybe extending the left arm up. Still want to think about stacking our joints. Closing the pose, bringing the left hand down so both hands can rest on the block, on the leg, or on the mat. Coming into pyramid. Bending the left knee, bringing both hands to the mat. Let's step the right foot back. And then lower the knee. Bring in whatever padding you need for that right knee, blanket, towel, even just fold up your mat. Making sure the left knee is stacked over the left ankle, the right knee is behind the right hip. Making our way into our crescent lunge. Starting with hands on the back for support. Inhaling as we lengthen the spine up, exhaling as we open the heart. Option to add the arms overhead if you want to. And your back is okay with that. And release. Stepping the left foot back to down dog, child's pose, or to plank for one more vinyasa. Moving through chaturanga, upward dog or cobra, and then back to downward facing dog. And that was the last one. Right leg lifts, three-legged dog. We're going to bend that knee and twist, reaching the knee up toward the ceiling, opening up the hips. And then you can stay here if you want. Step this right foot behind us, taking the right arm up, coming into wild thing, opening the heart. If you flipped your dog, come back to three-legged dog. And from there, we'll make our way into pigeon, Kapha Dosha. Bring the right knee to the right wrist. Option to come onto your back and take a figure four, crossing your right ankle over your left thigh. So if you're staying in pigeon, we're going to do something a little different with our pigeon today. If you would prefer just to fold, that's fine. If you want to today, take a chest expansion, clasping hands together behind us and opening the heart. If you're in the chest expansion, release the hands back down. We'll all make our way back into downward facing dog. Tucking the left toes under, lifting those hips up and back. From here, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Bending the knee and twisting, reaching that knee up toward the ceiling, opening up the hips, looking underneath the left arm. And then if you want, you can flip your dog into wild thing, step your left foot behind you, open up the left arm, lifting the hips up toward the sky. If you flipped your dog, go ahead and come back to three-legged dog, and then make your way into Kapha Dosha pigeon, bringing the left knee up to the left wrist, sliding that right leg back. And then if you did the chest expansion on the first side, you can do it on this side, clasping hands and opening the heart. And we'll go ahead and release. And we'll make our way into child's pose. So you can come through downward dog first, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back, and then just drop your knees and come into a child's pose. So any version you like, take a little break. All right, we're going to make our way onto the belly for bow pose, which normally I don't enjoy because I always get these red spots on my hip bones or over my hip bones. But I'm on carpet today, so carpet definitely helps. All right, so we're going to bring our hands back by our hips, bring the forehead down to the mat. We'll set up here. Oh, actually, you know what? We're going to do half bow. We'll do half bow or full bow twice. Half bow on each side or full bow twice. So to set up for half bow, let's take our right arm out in front of us so that the forearm is parallel to the short end of the mat. Okay. All right. So we're using that forearm to kind of support the upper body. Bending the left leg and then reaching back for your left foot with your left hand or ankle. I always like the ankle. I think it's a little safer to grab the ankle rather than the foot. That way we don't have to worry about the ankle sickling when we're pulling on it. So from here, pressing the foot into the hand, creating that tension there. So if you want to stay here with the half bow, be my guest. If you want to reach back and grab both ankles at the same time and then press them both in as you lift into bow pose. And release. And just rest, turn the head to one side. If you want to kind of shake your hips from side to side, release the back. Go ahead and set up for half bow on the other side. So bringing our left forearm out in front of us, lifting the chest, bending the right knee and reaching back for the right ankle with our right hand. And again, if you did full bow on the first side, you can go ahead and grab both ankles and take full bow on this side also. Not a great pose to do if you have really anything in your stomach. I drank some tea not too long ago and I'm feeling this now, so this isn't feeling great, but that's all right. All right, go ahead and release. Let's press back into child's pose. That's so much better. Again, whatever you want to do with your arms, whether you want to have your knees together or separated. And we'll go ahead and come up, take the legs around the front. So we're going to come into Navasana or boat pose. So we're going to be sitting up on our sit bones, grabbing a hold behind the knees, and then coming back to balance on our sit bones for Navasana. So you can stay here holding on. You can release the legs. You could also straighten the legs. I think I'm going to keep my knees bent today. We're going to hold this here for about 30 seconds. Relax the shoulders, breathing. Lifting the chest. And release the feet, hug the knees, and lift your back round, tuck the chin into the chest. And we'll go ahead and sit up, extending the legs out long. So we're going to come into reverse plank, okay? So reverse plank, hands come behind us with our fingertips pointed towards us. Now, if you don't feel like you want to do a reverse plank today, you can do reverse tabletop with the knees bent. Okay, so I'll just show you tabletop real quick. This is reverse table, okay? All right, or you can do reverse plank. And if you don't feel like lifting all the way up, you don't want to lift your booty up off the mat, what you can do is with your legs extended, just press into the mat and open the heart, okay? If your shoulders aren't wanting you to lift your booty up off the floor. Okay, if you're ready to go for reverse plank or reverse table, let's go ahead and lift. If you're in reverse plank, so you can get your toes to touch the mat. Now I'm getting toe cramps. All right, go ahead and release. Whew. All right. And then we're going to bend the right knee, stepping that foot up and over to the outside of the left thigh. Your left leg can stay straight. You can bend it underneath you and sit back down, hugging the knee with the left arm. The right arm comes behind us and we twist. So options, you can hug the knee like this, or you could bring your elbow past your knee, or if you want to bind the pose today, you can bind. I actually think I'm going to just hug the knee because that tea is still making itself known. Note to self, don't drink tea right before yoga. All right, go ahead and release. Switch sides, extend the right leg out, bend your left knee in, step that foot up and over. You can leave that right leg straight or bend it underneath you and sit back down, hugging the knee with the right arm. The left arm comes behind us and we twist again. Whatever variation you'd like to do for your seated twist in regards to that right arm, be my guest. And release. All right, we're going to make our way onto the back. So let's grab a hold behind the knees and just let ourselves down one vertebrae at a time. And then we're going to walk our feet in towards the bottom. So we're going to work on some bridges. All right. And I'm going to say this because I know there's a few people that are watching that have blocks. If you would prefer to take this time and do your supported bridge with your block and just hang out there because it feels so good, be my guest. That's an option for you. Okay, so supported bridge is an option. If you're not going with supported bridge, let's make sure that our feet are hip width apart, parallel. We're going to walk them in towards the bottom as close as we can, and we'll bring our hands down next to our hips. And then we'll just lift the hips up towards the ceiling. So once we're up here, think about engaging your quadriceps, so those big muscles on the tops of your thighs, and releasing the glutes and the hamstrings. Normally we're squeezing our glutes, like when we're doing this in like, you know, a cardio class, when we're doing like hip lifts and we're squeezing, we're trying to work the glutes here. That's not what we're going for right now. We want to work on opening the front of the body. So we want to relax the back of the body so that we can get a little bit more flexibility through that low back. So press the feet firmly into the mat like you're trying to push them out away from you. And then we'll come up onto toes and release. And let's windshield wiper those knees side to side. A couple of times, just release the back. Coming back to center, walking the feet back in so they're parallel and hip width apart. The parallel thing is really important, okay? That's what's gonna help us protect our low back when we come into the wheel. A lot of times people turn their toes out, and then when they lift up into that wheel, that full back bend, it just creates so much pressure on the sacrum, it's not good for you. So feet parallel. Before we come into this next bridge, let's tuck the shoulders under one at a time, rocking ourselves from side to side, and then lifting the hips again, clasping the hands together underneath the back. And again, relax the glutes, relax the hamstrings, engage the quads, push the feet into the mat. It's a little counterintuitive when you first do it. You're like, wait, I'm supposed to squeeze my glutes, right? No. All right, let's go ahead and release. Come up to toes, release the hands, release the hips, release the shoulders. And let's take some windshield wipers. We'll do one more. So let's walk the feet in towards the bottom. Again, make sure those feet are parallel. Hands come down. Let's tuck your shoulders underneath us again, one at a time. Lifting the hips up. This time you can clasp the hands together again. Or if your hips are up high enough, you can take your hands and support your low back. Now, if you can get your hands under your back, I don't want you to just be like, oh, now I can just dump all my weight into my wrists and relax. No, you want to still be pressing the feet into the mat, lifting your hips up like you're trying to take them out of your hands. And then we can take one leg up. And then if you want, take the other leg up. And now we're in our half shoulder stand. Ta-da! So obviously if you don't want to do shoulder stand, half shoulder stand, or plow, go ahead and release. Windshield wiper your legs. Rest there while we finish up with some little inversions here. So from half shoulder stand, you can come into full shoulder stand, walking your hands up your back, taking the legs up toward the sky, or you can come into plow, bringing the feet overhead. If you can rest your toes on the floor, you can release your hands from your back. If you're in plow and you're having a hard time breathing, think about breathing into the backs of your lungs. And we're going to go ahead and release. So bringing the hands onto the back if they're not already there. Use your hands to gently guide your body all the way down, nice and slow. And then we'll come into fish. So options for your legs for fish. You can bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees open out to the sides like a lying down butterfly. If you're able to put your feet into full lotus while you're lying on your back, you could do that. Or my favorite, simplest, is just have the legs straight. Hands come down next to the hips. Let's rock ourselves from side to side and slide the forearms underneath the body so that we're laying on them. Coming up to elbows, looking at the toes, and then lifting the heart up toward the ceiling, dropping the head back, lightly resting either the back of the head or the top of the head on the mat, or in my case, the top of my bun. Very little weight is on the head. And to release, we'll bring the head up, tuck the chin, and roll all the way down. And we'll hug the knees into the chest. I'll take some little rocks from side to side. Circling those knees around, first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Coming back to center, hugging the right knee in, release your left leg down, give that right knee a nice squeeze. Extending the right leg up toward the ceiling. Point and flex the foot a few times. And circle it first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using a strap, pulling that right leg in towards you for a hamstring stretch. The left leg may be bent, or you can straighten that leg out. Extending the right leg out towards the right side. Trying to keep the left side on the mat, so maybe placing your hand on your hip or activating the muscles in that left leg to make that side of your body heavy. And then taking that right leg up and across the body over to the left, reaching your right arm out into a T. Keeping the right shoulder on the mat, maybe also looking down that right arm. And releasing, bringing that right leg back up, making a figure four with our legs, bending both knees and crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, reaching the right arm between the legs and then pulling on the left leg, either grabbing behind the thigh or on the front of the shin, lining up that left knee over that left shoulder. And we'll release the right leg down, hugging the left knee in, giving that left knee a nice squeeze. And then reaching that left leg up toward the ceiling, pointing and flexing the foot a few times. And then circling the foot first in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using a strap, pulling that left leg in towards you for a hamstring stretch. Your right leg may be bent or straight. Extending the left leg out towards the left side, keeping the right side on the mat. And then taking that left leg up and across the body over to the right, reaching the left arm out into a T, keeping your left shoulder on the mat, maybe looking down that left arm. And releasing, bringing that left leg back up, making that figure four, so crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, reaching the left arm through and pulling on the right leg. Lining that right knee up over the right shoulder. And we'll release, hugging both knees into the chest. Extending arms out to a T, palms can be up or down. Either dropping both knees to your right, or if you'd like, cross the left leg over the right thigh first, and then take the knees to the right. Keeping both shoulders on the mat, maybe turning the head to look down the left arm. And releasing. We'll take the knees over to the left. So if you cross the legs one way, go ahead and cross them the other way. And we'll twist to the other side. And release. Uncrossing the legs if they're crossed, hugging both knees into the chest. Bring the forehead up to meet the knees, squeezing everything in nice and tight. And then releasing and preparing for Shavasana. So if you're wanting to put some layers on for Shavasana, be my guest. And then while you guys are getting ready for Shavasana, I'll tell you a few other things about the Kapha Dosha. So some things that can help if you tend to be Kapha. Waking up and getting out of bed early, since the Kapha time of day is 6 to 10 a.m. Staying in bed through this time of day can encourage sluggishness and fatigue. So they say you're supposed to get up before 6 a.m., which I know for a few of us is very difficult to do. Waking up before the Kapha Dosha has taken root in the environment helps to create more stimulation in body, mind, heart, and spirit. Spicy, bitter, and astringent foods and reducing sweets. Since the sweet taste is related to the Kapha Dosha, too much sweet can increase internal heaviness. Hot foods, a little bit of ginger, jalapeno, or other spicy foods can help to spur on the metabolism. Capsaicin, one of the components of all peppers, has actually been shown to increase metabolic rate, and it's one of the few substances, along with caffeine, that does so. Warm teas and liquids, these help to increase internal heat. Since the Kapha Dosha is cold by nature, internal heat is important. Stimulating scents, rosemary, amber, champa, and dry brushing before showering or bathing. Those are the other things you can do if you are a Kapha person. So hopefully all of you are settled in for Shavasana. Go ahead and close your eyes and let your awareness drop into the center of your chest. Breathe naturally and imagine your breath coming in and out through your heart. Let each inhalation caress and soften your inner heart space. Become aware of a golden flame in the center of your chest. You might visualize it or simply feel its warm, glowing presence. With each inhalation, the flame glows. With each exhalation, it radiates light through the heart, front, sides, and back. Rest your awareness gently in the flame. Inhale and it glows. Exhale and it radiates. Keep softening and relaxing the inner heart, spreading the glow of your inner flame throughout your body and out into the room. Start to wiggle fingers and toes, circling ankles and wrists, and reaching the arms up overhead, just stretch and release. And either rolling to one side or hugging the knees into the chest, taking a few deep breaths as you prepare to come up to seated. And when you're ready, making your way into any comfortable seat you choose to finish your practice today. Sitting up nice and tall and dropping the chin to the chest. Taking the right ear towards the right shoulder. And left ear to left shoulder. Bringing the head up, taking the hands behind the head, looking all the way up. And release. Taking 3 deep breaths, inhaling arms up. And exhaling them down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. One more time, inhaling it up. Bringing the hands together at heart center as we exhale. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.